Boy, do we have something to discuss today. Bro, just call me Diddy at this point. I'm touching one of these executives. They're ruining my product. What I want to talk about today is a question that I have had for a really long time, either when I'm trying to go to sleep, when I'm showering, when I'm with your mother. That was my that was a really good one, dude. It's a question I've had for a really long time, but especially recently since post WrestleMania 40, with how this company has been moving. Is WWE just too big to fail at this point? Can they just do anything to the point where they just won't get punished for doing anything? Like, will people just always show up and just give this company money? Or is there like a breaking point to what they are doing? Because especially in American culture right now, we are getting brutally hammered with everything that's been going on with media. Whether it's things like Netflix, which ironically WWE is on, things like Netflix, their prices going up, literally every platform going up for you don't have any reason to go up, by the way, unless I'm misunderstanding something. It is digital media. Why are the prices going up? Whatever, man, I'm getting mad. I'm gonna go off about another topic. I need to stay on topic. But I have had this question for the longest time, especially recently, in the ethics of this company and how they've, released a bunch of wrestlers, paying literally stupid executives more money. That's probably what's happening behind the scenes. What can they actually do to where people are like, I'm done with this crap? There's been a lot of people to say that, and those people, I don't know if they're true to their word. They're either tuning back in next week or, they're watching AEW, which I just made an AEW video. And I just don't think they actually care about things like viewership, or I'll even go as far as to saying live attendance, because I don't think that affects their pockets as much as we think it does, or like as much as it used to when they weren't this corporate entity stock holding company now. The thing I want to get into first is what does too big to fail actually mean in this situation that we're talking about with a wrestling company, because that can get tricky. There's a lot of dynamics at play in determining what a successful wrestling company is and what a failing company actually is. Of course, the big thing is money, and the money coming in versus the money going out. But especially with a big entity like WWE, it just gets a lot more complicated. And we all know within mainstream culture, you can say WWE is not mainstream, which I guess is pretty true. Like not everyone watches WWE, but when someone mentions wrestling, they're mentioning WWE because they are wrestling to most normal people. They aren't this niche product that just the people that enjoy this hobby know of. Like, no, literally everyone knows what WWE is. WWE is wrestling to people who don't actually watch wrestling. They say WWE, not wrestling. They are that big of a company. So there's one point already that's making this WWE fall kind of unrealistic. It's like they're just so mainstream at this point to where it's like, it just seems like if that actually happened, that would be such a shocker because of what they've built outside of actual wrestling. Another talking point is, would they survive a downturn in either, brands for some reason pulling out, or media deals suddenly disappearing because they're not, enthralled with the... Bro, I pulled enthralled. Bro, that's a crazy pull. Enthralled, that's word of the day, bro. Media partners not, liking the numbers they're bringing in, which that could happen. But again, the WWE itself is a, multi-billion dollar... Actually, are they? Okay, yeah. As of May 2026, its market capitalization is approximately $15.89 billion. So I feel like if a media partner were to either pull out, or for some reason a controversy or for some reason the controversy happened, let's not have a Benoit situation again. All right, that's we don't need that again. But even if things were to pull out, like brands or media deals, they have all of these billions of dollars to fall back on. So I don't think we should just assume if either for some reason Netflix cancels Monday Night Raw, or USA even decides to move on from Friday Night SmackDown, there's still such a force with these billions and billions of dollars to fall back on. Even if they they're in a situation for a second where they don't know what to do, somebody's gonna come in and see that money opportunity because they see how profitable this business could be. They're gonna swoop right in, so they're always going to have a place to fall back on. But I will say, people put into a lot of stock where the broadcast for the wrestling is. Even though WWE and a lot of people are just not enjoying the product right now, including myself, it is still like a lot bigger than it was before Triple H took over. And that it's because it is getting the exposure of being on a place like Netflix and being a part of a corporate entity like TKO, which also has the UFC. So there's even more basically just free promotion at that point. It's basically like the rights media deal is equivalent to like what level your show is on and what production you're going to expect. Like Raw is on Netflix, and by the way, that it's on Netflix. Literally almost everybody across the globe has Netflix. When it was on USA, people don't really pay for cable like that anymore. So them moving to Netflix opens up the potential for a lot more people to see this product that may have never even known it existed, because they have never, they weren't scrolling on Netflix seeing WWE content, but now they are. So that's another reason, it's just not likely would not come because of how bad the product might be. I mentioned earlier, if brands were to pull out, WWE would still have a lot of billions of dollars to fall back on, and obviously they would still get swooped up by someone else. But I feel like even if that is so, losing the rights to stream yourself on Netflix of all things, that would definitely be a blow. And I feel like the boom period, I don't even know if we're in that anymore, but the exposure would get like a lot less if Netflix decided to scrap the WWE idea. So yes, that would still be a big blow, but they would still have something to fall back on. So it's not gonna get to a point where if Netflix decided to cancel, it's just gonna be a catastrophe. It would definitely be a big L for the WWE, but it wouldn't be like this be all end all type situation. And by the way, from these deals like with Netflix, they're getting guaranteed money no matter live tickets or people watching. They're getting guaranteed money to stream their content on the platform because they're getting guaranteed money either way. So at this point, just kill me. By the way, I am not saying or wanting this company to fail. That is absolutely stupid to hope for any company. I am saying that I want them to be in a position where it's getting so dangerous to where they're just going to, they have no choice but to put on a good product for the fans, because that should be their main priority. But they just, it feels like they just don't care about that part anymore. And that leads me into the next part of what I want to talk about, is the creative risk of it all. Like, you are putting on, like everybody can see, you are putting on the bare minimum show. I know as a kid, if I was watching the product, I'd still probably watch either way because it's wrestling. I just liked wrestling and I didn't look at it any deeper but the wrestling. But when you do have a bad storytelling, like what's happening right now, a lot of people would say, things like viewership and merchandise and, the audience retention does go down, and people's jobs might, be at stake. I heard rumors of Triple H getting fired. I don't think that's true at all. I just heard that from somewhere. But once again, it comes back to it's just not, they don't care about this stuff like they used to. Again, the media rights deals, they're still raking these billions and billions of dollars in from rights deals, and people are still showing up to the shows and people are still tuning in to the live product. So as of right now, I just don't see how they're not even close to a situation where they should be panicking or they should be scrambling for new creative ideas to try to please the fans once again because they're in a desperate situation. That's just not, they're just not even close to something like that. And for people hoping, you know, this would be the last ditch effort of them being in a position where they would have no choice but to please the fans, from what I see, we're very, very far away from that point. One thing I will say though is WWE is heavily dependent on the marketing of the superstars, because it is all about the superstars, and recently they have not been able to create really any new superstars. What is it going to look like when CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, people like that, what is the company going to rely on for marketing and for new investors and new deals to happen with media rights if they're not having any more stars on this level anymore and these people are gone? What are they gonna do? They have a lot of time to adjust, but you know, it's kind of like a ticking time bomb because they really haven't made one single superstar since Roman Reigns. It's a little bit concerning, I must say, because we're getting to a point Roman Reigns isn't getting any younger. If Jesus Christ returned and told WWE to create a new superstar, they still couldn't do it, I swear. But that is the one gigantic hole. Gigantic. I need to grow up. I do need to grow up, okay. But that is the one gigantic hole that I see in all of this that could definitely doom the future of this company in the future if they do not capitalize on making new stars, because just on all fronts right now, it is failing. Gunther is not on a Roman Reigns level. Braun Breaker is not on a Roman Reigns level. Obafemi has the most potential out of all of them, but still not on a level of Roman Reigns. And why do I keep mentioning Roman Reigns? Is because people outside of the wrestling circle still know who Roman Reigns is. I'd say most likely, not everyone, like not on the level of John Cena or The Rock, but I feel like a lot of people still know who Roman Reigns is. But there's not really anybody close so far. I feel like Obafemi is the closest to reaching that level where you're really big and you are enticing to people like a media rights partner. But that is not the case with these new up and coming superstars. You just haven't found someone like that yet. The time bomb is, you know, it is ticking and it's getting really close to that point where these guys are just kind of moving on and you're stuck with the product where you just didn't care to build anybody up. That is the one big hole I see in all of this that could come back to bite them if they don't start putting their act together a little bit quickly. But yeah, that's I just wanted to talk about that and, you know, see where the dynamics was. 6'7", I was doing my hands like, what am I doing, bro? I just wanted to talk about that and see where the dynamics were with all of this, and really, you know, just kind of go through it with you guys and see if this is, you know, even possible. I don't wish that on this company. I wish actual success for this company, because I want to view something that I actually find entertaining, and I can't do that if all this company does is treat this product like an advertising company with wrestling in it. And if it has to get to a point where they're in a position where they have no other choice but to please the audience to get some revenue in, I might be fine with that. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Tell me what you agree with, what you don't agree with, or if I'm even bugging about this entire thing. I don't even know. And tell me what types of videos you would like to see next down in the comment section below. If anyone does watch this video, I don't even know if this is gonna get a single view. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and I'm out.